Hello guys, Jared here again, and I'm going to do another Laurel and Hardy related review. Today I'm reviewing their film Swiss Miss, yes. So basically, as you can tell from the title, it has to do with them going to Switzerland, and at the beginning, you do see like some of the people in Switzerland before they introduced Laurel and Hardy coming in to the country, kind of similar to like with their previous film Way Out West, where they showed like the saloon and with James Finlayson and establishing that before, quite a bit before Laurel and Hardy actually show up. And I guess they also did that with their film The Devil's Brother, where they sort of established the other characters before Laurel and Hardy show up. And I kind of felt like maybe it worked a bit better in those other films, because I felt like in this I was kind of like, I wish Laurel and Hardy would show up. And I think maybe what it is that like, in those other films, you still had James Finlayson there before Laurel and Hardy showed up, and I associate him a lot with Laurel and Hardy, whereas this, I don't know if any of the actors who are in Switzerland, they were that associated with Laurel and Hardy, but it doesn't take too long for them to show up. And when they show up, it turns out they're selling mouse traps, and it was Stan's idea to sell mouse traps in Switzerland, because he said he thought there would be more mice there because they make cheese in Switzerland a lot. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So yeah, they sell like mouse traps there, and then they end up selling. They end up doing other jobs working there in that place in Switzerland, and yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah, and like they get jobs like cleaning stuff like that. And yeah, it's fun. I think this is one of the sort of films where a lot of the stuff that's to do with the characters who aren't Laurel and Hardy aren't quite as interesting, but Laurel and Hardy themselves are still really fun to watch in this, and yeah, I still think this is still a pretty fun movie. It's and one of like the jobs they have to do there, they move a piano, and obviously this isn't the first time they played piano movers. They famously played piano movers in one of their most famous shots, the music box, which is pictured on here. Obviously in this shot they had to move the piano up a flight of stairs, up to a house. But in this movie they have to move a piano across like a bridge. It's like a rope bridge with like wooden planks on it. And yeah, I thought maybe they might have reused that from this. Obviously, since this is one of their most famous shots. And you do also have like a gorilla there on the rope on the bridge. And the gorilla comes back at the end of the movie where he's like in bandages and crutches, and he throws one of his crutches at them, which is pretty funny. And yeah, and it has like one of the shorts on this. They have like related shorts to the features. They have one, the chimp, which is another short that involves a guy in a gorilla suit, which they often did that with like Three Stooges, where they'd have a guy in a gorilla suit. So I think Swiss Miss and the chimp are the only times that Laurel and Hardy did the whole thing with the guy in a gorilla suit, but the Three Stooges, they did that a number of times in their shorts. So. And I think there's some nice songs in it, even though I think, the stuff with the other characters isn't quite as interesting. There are some nice songs. Like, I remember you have like a guy who's like a songwriter, and he writes a song like, click, 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 hear the cricket, singing merrily all day long, I remember that a lot. And I remember there's also like sort of a subplot that Ollie like falls in love with this woman who turns out to be married to like the man, but I remember he sings like a song to that's let me call you sweetheart, and I remember that was also in an Our Gang Little Rascals short. It was in it was one where Alfalfa sings that, and he sings with like bubbles coming out because they like pranked him, and I remember that a lot. So yeah, it's interesting that they have like the same songs. Obviously Laurel and Hardy and Our Gang were both from Hal Roach Studios, so yeah. And speaking of bubbles, I like the gag in this where basically when Laurel and Hardy are like cleaning some stairs and like the like soap goes through like the organs, like well, like an organ that you play, and a guy comes and plays on the organ, and it blows bubbles out, and then they Laurel and Hardy pop the bubbles, and it makes the music when they pop them. That was a nice gag. So yeah, Swiss Miss, it might not be one of their best because, like I said, the other characters in this aren't quite as interesting as Laurel and Hardy. But I think them two are still great and they make it fun to watch. And yeah, I do have fun with this one overall. So yeah, thanks for watching my review and bye.